Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a special 12:30 PM edition of the Purple Penny weekly coin video. Happy Easter Monday to those of you in Australia who are having the day off. One of our daughters has come for a visit from interstate, so Catherine and her are off shopping today. So our son and myself have come in today, and he's getting a few things done for me next door while I do the video and get a few odd jobs done. Those of you who haven't watched before, my name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We're in Adelaide, South Australia, which is a town sort of in the middle at the bottom of a map of Australia for those of you who are watching from countries outside of Australia. We are half an hour later than usual today because I had to run one of our kids into work before we came here. So we'll just say a few hellos. Hello Paul, John, Glenn, Clay, Jay, Scott, Warren. Hello Greg and all the gravy trainers. G'day Cam, Patrick, Mike, Warren, John Taverner, no day off. Well, only a part day off for me, John, so I kind of feel your pain. G'day Phil from Scarborough in Queensland, Tony, John, Robert, thanks for your Easter wishes. And rather than thanking everyone for your Easter wishes, Catherine and I do thank you for your good wishes, and we pass on those regards to everyone who is watching today and all the customers and friends that have supported over the last few years of doing this. Hello Blake, and hello Glennis, Detlef. Gosh, there's a lot of people watching today. I guess it's a holiday, so there's a lot of people home. So last week we only traded for 2 days. We were only open Wednesday and Thursday. They were both very busy days though. We did our level best, or our customers did their level best to do a week's worth of trading in 2 days. We decided to have a few days off over Easter, so that, as I said, one of our daughters has come to visit from interstate, and my parents were going to drop in from interstate as well, but unfortunately they had to cancel due to getting sick. But it meant that we've had a bit of a sleep in, which is nice, and a few days away from the computer and the coin shop. Last week, probably the highlight, and this is the weirdest thing, I'm sort of not sure why I'm so excited about it, but I posted up a picture of this on the Facebook page last week. So the daughter of an ex-bank teller brought this in, and it's a $100 note, just a perfectly normal paper grey ghost $100 note in a Reserve Bank destruction bag. So it's been sealed into a plastic bag that's printed by the Reserve Bank. There's a label stuck over the note as well, and this was scheduled for destruction. I assume that the bank teller has decided to pay for it and take it home with them, and it's what's it worth as a collectible? I really have no idea, but it is really strange, and I do like the strange things that come in here. And the same person had this note, and this probably won't show it. Oh no, it does show up fairly well. It's a 1993 $10 note, a blue Dobell $10 note, and you can see quite clearly here the reverse image of a 10. So this is what's known as a wet ink transfer, and that means that one sheet of notes was laid on top of another sheet of notes that still had wet ink on them, and some of that ink has actually transferred onto this note. So you can see a mirror image of the note that it was pressed against, and it's actually a double-sided wet ink transfer, which is pretty cool. So you can see here another reverse 10 there. So that's quite a nice buy. We've had a couple of little wet ink transfers before, but never one as good as that. Right, that's enough for what went on in the week at the shop. Hello Ogie and Mick and Tanya. Right, weekly news. I thought I'd just have a quick look at the B coin secondary market, and there's a B roll here somewhere. So unless you're living under a rock, you probably know that the B coins were released the week before last, and by the secondary market I mean having a look at what they're selling for on eBay and Facebook and places like that. That's called the secondary market. we are the primary market. If you buy things directly from a mint dealer or from the mint, then that's the primary market. And there's what they are going for at the moment. The rolls are achieving a quite surprising $150 to $200 each, which I must admit I was kind of surprised by that, but there's a number selling at that price point. Compare that with the last 2-3 RAM rolls that were released, the Indigenous flag, the frontline workers and the ambulance coins. They're all still only getting $110 or $120 each for a roll. The C mint marks are getting $20 to $30, which is about what I expected. But those rolls, given that there was 15,000 of them, they're selling for sometimes $200, is quite a good result for those of you who managed to get hold of them. Right. If you watched last week, we talked about some fake error coins, and we mentioned briefly the fake $2 colorization errors that have been popping up, and they are the Bullseye $2 error is a well-known error where the colour was applied by the mint onto the wrong side of the coin. Someone has worked out how to actually lift the paint off the $2 coins and reapply it to the other side. As I mentioned last week, we had seen a number of these fakes. Someone tried to sell us a number of these fakes. It was brought to our attention the eBay account of someone who was selling similar fakes. That person was from, their eBay account was in Gladstone in Queensland, and that was the same location that the fake colorization error coins that were attempted to be sold to us came from. The person who ran that eBay account changed the, once that was publicised, they changed their account name and removed the listings of the fabricated errors, but their sales history showed that they had sold a few fabricated errors already, and I believe as of last Friday the eBay account has actually disappeared. So what's the outcome of all of that? I wouldn't buy a Bullseye $2 error at the moment unless it's in a PCGS slab. I think there's just too much uncertainty in that market at the moment, and it's a shame that someone's ruined it, but there you go, that's what someone's done. Right, being Easter, it meant that the Queen had the Royal Maundy, and the Royal Maundy is a historic ceremony where the English monarch would give out food and clothing and money to the poor in a church. Now, over the centuries, that has changed into quite a formalised ceremony where the monarch still gives out money to parishioners in a church, but they no longer give them food and clothing. And that ceremony is held the Thursday before Easter. It's called Maundy Thursday, and the money is given out in specially designed coins called Maundy coins. And last week the Queen was due to hold that, but for only the 4th time since she's been the Queen, she was not able to attend, so Charles and Camilla took over those duties for her. 96 men and 96 women received a £5 coin and a 50p coin, and they were special platinum coronation anniversary designs, and they also received 96 pence in Royal Maundy money, and Royal Maundy money comes in 4 denominations: 4 pence, 3 pence, 2 pence and 1 pence, and of course the 96 comes from the age of the Queen. Now they've changed a little bit how that's worked. Usually what they would do is give out, what they have done in the past is they've given out the number of years that the Queen has reigned for in pence to the age of the Queen, but they seem to just change that, so it's obviously no hard and fast rule. Now if you're wondering what a Maundy coin looks like, I'll just pop up a picture of one here. There's a Maundy 3 pence, and you'll notice that it's using the old portrait of the Queen there, and that is still the design that's used today. They are sterling silver coins, and they are tiny. So the 4 pence, which is the largest coin, is about the same size as a 1 cent piece, and the 1 pence is just a little tiny thing that it looks like if you blew on it too hard it would actually blow away. Really interesting coins, Maundy coins, and those people who are lucky enough to get 96 pence of these. These coins for a set of 4 would sell for about £200 or £300. So those people that get those sets can make a tidy little profit off of those. Right. Other news, of course, is the May RAM releases. We've got the Queen's Coronation, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee coins being released in the first week in May, and we have the Beauty Rich and Rare Great Barrier Reef coin being released. It'd just be interesting to know with the Beauty Rich and Rare, which of course is a line out of Advanced Australia Fair, if that means there's going to be a series of those coins. That's something to look out for. Interest in those Barrier Reef coins has been more than I expected. We got our allocation of coins from the mint and we didn't get what we asked for, so clearly the demand amongst other dealers is quite good too. So that's one to look out for if you're interested in domed silver coins. The Beauty Rich and Rare gold Great Barrier Reef coin could be one to try and get on release day. Last item of news is the Adelaide Coin Expo. It is still going ahead. We're having the first planning meeting this Thursday. And those of you who don't know, the Adelaide Coin and Banknote Expo was an annual thing. It's been cancelled for 2 years because of COVID. It's run by the Numismatic Society of South Australia, of which Catherine and I are both members. The first planning session is this Thursday. I'm super excited to be able to attend that, and I'll be able to pass on to you what's going on with that. It's the first weekend in November. I'll just pop up the slide here. First weekend in November. It's over 3 days this year. Free entry, free parking. It is in the middle of Adelaide. The tables are all sold out. There'll be dealers from South Australia and interstate. And if you are able to get here to Adelaide, it is well worth the trip. Best coin show going around at the moment in Australia. Best coin show in Australia. Right. Topic of the day, and this is a suggestion that we had from a watcher several weeks ago, is coin rolls, and I've got a whole array of coin rolls over here. Now, before we get into that, what we'll do is we'll just see if there's any questions here that I need to answer. Hello Gwen, how are you? Tony says, what's the most memorable item we've had come into the shop? Tony, I think the most memorable item that we've had was a 4.5 ounce gold nugget that someone sold to us. That was pretty remarkable. But that didn't come into the shop. That was someone interstate that contacted us for that. But probably the most eye-opening thing that we've had come into the shop was about 50 Indian gold coins, tiny little gold coins, gold phantoms, which you just don't expect to see. 50 300-year-old coins just walk in the front door. That was pretty eye-opening. But probably, my favourite item at the moment would be the deactivated hand grenade that's around here somewhere, which has been converted into an ashtray. The stranger the better, as far as I'm concerned. It's every day is a thrill to come in here and just see what comes in the front door. Some days we get some amazing things. Other days we just, we get just coins. Nothing wrong with just coins, but it's always nice to see something interesting. Blake, yes, someone has figured out how to lift off the paint on $2 coins, Blake. That's right. Jay, we can't take pre-orders, but you can express your interest with us on new release products. It's just a matter of contacting us, letting us know what it is that you're interested in. We'll put you on our list, and on release day we'll contact you and let you know if we can offer you something. Tanya, is the expo in November or October? It's in October this year. Usually it is in November, but it is in October this year. The reason why we couldn't hold it in November is that the first weekend in November, where we like to hold it, clashed with something that was going on at Adelaide Oval, and it just couldn't work. And then the week after that, the parade grounds, the Torrens parade grounds, are being closed for several months for renovations. So it's the long weekend in October, which is the first weekend in October. Philip is asking if we take expressions of interest. I've just explained that, Philip, so you just send us a message. Right, topic of the day, coin rolls. We'll just pop up the slide for that. So coin rolls, what are they? Coin rolls are, of course, rolls of coins. Now, why does the mint make coin rolls? Well, back in the day, they made coin rolls to be able to transport and exchange coins in known quantities. They were not collector products. So for decimal coins at least, from 1966, coin rolls were available in either Royal Australian Mint paper or Reserve Bank of Australia paper. So that's a Royal Australian Mint 1 cent roll, and those were available in that sort of paper up until the mid 80s. And we'll just grab a Reserve Bank roll. So this is a Reserve Bank of Australia roll there. Okay, so a 2 cent roll. Just try and bring it up a bit better. There we go. So a 2 cent roll. Those were available in the 60s and 70s. Now remember, they're not collectible products. They are products that were made to allow the mint to transport coins in known quantities around. And these coins were in boxes, jumbo, well, I guess you could call them jumbo boxes. I've seen boxes of 1, 2 and 5 cent and 10 cent rolls. I've never seen a 20 cent or a 50 cent box. And those boxes were shipped on pallets. So, you know, if you wanted $200 worth of 1 cent coins, you'd get 4 boxes of them. So what are you looking for with rolls like those? You're not looking for a roll like this because it's got damaged paper on the end. You're looking for rolls that are tight, for paper that isn't damaged, for end coins that are not toned, and for paper that is still in original condition, that it's not faded or toned or anything like that. What are the hard ones to get? 1960 through to about 1973 are the hardest years, and 1968 is the hardest year for 1 and 2 cent pieces. And then you've also got hard years such as 1966 London 20 cent pieces, which are very hard to get because people are looking for wavy 2s in them, 3.5 claw, 1981s and things like that. So they are quite collectible. From about 1975 through to the middle 80s, they are very common, extremely common, not hard to find. And if you're after a roll, an example roll of pretty much any denomination, 1 cent through to 50 cent, just come in here and, you know, we'll be able to find something for you. Now, I should just say, this is a 20 cent Royal Australian Mint roll. Holding that the right way up. Yeah, so the denomination is usually on the side, as is the value that's in the roll. Now, during the 80s through to sort of the late 80s through to the middle 2000s, early 2000s, the mint stopped making rolls. And why did they stop making rolls? Well, presumably they shipped them out to security companies in bags or drums or whatever they did. And as a result, for many years, like I said, from sort of the early 90s through to the mid 2000s, 2010 thereabouts, it's actually, you can't get Royal Australian Mint rolls for coins, and that's simply because the mint didn't make them. So in that case, you are reliant on what's called a security roll. So a security roll is called a security roll because it's rolled by a security company. This is a a 2005 20 cent roll. It's rolled by Armour Guard. So they buy these coins in bulk and then they roll them up with their rolling machines and their paper. Now, if you are trying to put together a complete collection of rolls, generally security rolls are the less desirable roll. And why is that? Because you are never 100% guaranteed that the coins in there are what's shown on each end of the coin. But that's the risk you take. Now, if you're after a Bradman roll or a United Nations roll or one of those sort of commemoratives, or Centenary of Federation 20 cent pieces or 50 cent pieces, that is the only choice. There is no RAM rolls. Late 2000s, 2010, 2011, the Mint started issuing rolls again. And firstly, they issued them in collector form, like this. So there was a series of 20 cent pieces and 50-cent pieces that they released in this sort of paper, and it's blue and white, has a depiction of the coin on the outside. And these rolls came in, and I should just explain a bit of terminology here. If you've got a head on both ends of the roll, it's called a head-head roll. If you've got a tail on both ends of the coin, it's called a tail-tail roll. And if you've got a head and a tail, it's called a head-tail roll. Collectors generally want head-tail rolls, and the reasons for that will become obvious in a minute, but prior to what happened a couple of years ago, that was still the most preferred type of roll, was a head-tail roll. These rolls that the mint supplied could be head-head, tail-tail, or head-tail. There was no distinction made between them, and up until 2020, the mint made no distinction with collector coins, whether they were head-head or tail-tail, or head-tail. So, you know, a collector roll is a collector roll, regardless of what the coins on the end showed. Now, these weren't and still aren't very popular, but for a lot of these commemorative coins, it is the only way you can get them in a roll. Now, in the middle 2010s, the mint started issuing rolls again, and they were issuing them in, I think, 2014. They issued special Mob of Ruse rolls, and then 2015 onwards they started issuing rolls again. And if I can just get this out of here, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is a Mob of Ruse roll, and this is where we see the origins of this Royal Australia Mint paper here. And in 2014 they issued Mob of Ruse rolls, they issued the Green Dove rolls. So this is really when the mint started issuing rolls in this paper. Now, they said initially that the rolls in this paper were collector products. Okay, so you were fairly assured that if it was in this sort of paper, then it was a collector roll and you would pay a premium for it. And up until 2020, that's just how the rolls came, whether it be $1 rolls or $2 rolls, they came in that sort of paper. Then in 2020, in the first period of the COVID lockdown, the mint must have been clearing out their warehouse, and rolls in this sort of paper started showing up in ATMs. So the mint was clearing out their warehouse of what they called reject rolls, and reject rolls to them were head rolls or tail rolls. So at that point, when they'd been issuing $2 rolls like this for since about 2015, they tried to only issue head-tail rolls. What had they been doing with all the other rolls? It looks like they'd been breaking them down or stockpiling them. When lockdown happened and they needed more money, they needed more money to distribute. They issued a lot of these so-called reject rolls into circulation, and people started pulling them out of ATMs, and it caused a big ruckus, and as such the mint released a statement saying that an official collector roll from the mint was a head-tail roll only, and then they started issuing them with this little holographic stickery thing here. Anything without that after 2020 was not an official roll and was a reject roll. Now that caused a lot of hullabaloo, and into World War II rolls, which were the most popular ones at the time, the prices of those dropped from $700 to just over $200 in a matter of 48 hours. It completely wrecked the confidence in the market, and it really, for a lot of people, they've lost money on that stuff and will never ever get it back. And to a lot of regard, that confidence is still lost, because if you go and have a look on eBay, tail rolls don't sell for as high a price as head tail rolls. And that's even back till 2014, when a tail roll was just as good as a head tail roll. The mint didn't distinguish between the two. We've got a tail Green Dove roll out the front of the shop here that's hung around for ages, and that's simply because it's a tail roll. It's not as popular. The other roll, which I couldn't find an example of before we started today, is a so-called Cotton Co. roll or an Imperial Coin Company roll. Cotton Co. or Imperial Coins are up in Queensland, and they will roll coins for you. If you send them up mint state coins, they will inspect them, and if there's enough rolls to make up a roll, they'll roll it and individually number it. The advantage of Cotton Co. rolls over, say, this $2 security roll here, the advantage is that while this has got a Paralympics $2 on one end, there's no guarantee the whole roll is full of those, whereas a Cotton Co. roll, you have got that guarantee. That is the advantage of those. Now, what's most desirable in the market at the moment? It's these. It's RAM rolls with the hologram sticker on them, and then probably Cotton Co. rolls after that. Reject RAM rolls, so they're the rolls that don't have the hologram sticker on them, and then security rolls coming up the back there somewhere. And there's one other type of roll which you don't see that much here in Australia, but it's what's called a hand roll. It's quite common in America, where collectors, as they're noodling, will actually roll the coins back up and put them back in the bank in rolls. And you can go to the bank in the US and withdraw bulk coins, and you'll get a box full of hand-rolled coins. And when you see those, you usually would be disappointed, because it means that all the good stuff's been picked out already. Right, that's rolls. I hope that's covered the topic enough for the person who asked about those. We'll just have a look at the questions here. Robert's going to be trying to get one of the dome silver coins. Yeah, good idea, Robert. Warren says, last week a dealer told me all RAM rolls are head tails. I have seen tail and head RAM rolls. Are these reject rolls selling cheaper? Yes, they are. I think I've just covered that, but I guess a tail roll prior to, say, 2018 was just as valid as a head tail roll, because the mint didn't distinguish them, so there is that to be careful of. And yeah, thanks Sasha, that's good observation. A Cotton Co. roll has been checked for errors, whereas a reject roll has never been checked. So, perhaps you might find a good error in a reject RAM roll, whereas a Cotton Co. roll, those have been looked for. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday Monday. And those of you who have to go back to work tomorrow, sorry about that. We'll be back on board tomorrow, and the shop will be opening at 10 o'clock on Wednesday as per usual. Thanks everyone for watching and taking part. It's been a pleasure, and happy collecting, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.